Forget walking for a second, because what if I told you that the secret to building muscle and stopping age-related muscle loss isn't miles on a treadmill? It's just 2 simple home exercises that take less than 10 minutes a day. Yeah, sounds unbelievable, right? But stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why walking alone won't save your muscles and how these 2 moves can literally change how your body ages. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm glad you stopped by, because today we're talking about something that affects almost everyone after the age of 30, even if you feel healthy. Sarcopenia, the gradual loss of muscle mass that sneaks up on you year after year. You might notice it when your arms feel weaker, when climbing stairs gets harder, or when your energy just isn't what it used to be. The scary part, most people think walking every day is enough to stop it. But the truth is, it's not. Walking is great for your heart, but it doesn't challenge your muscles enough to grow or stay strong. Walking has long been praised as one of the best and easiest forms of exercise. It's simple, accessible, and gentle on the joints. You can do it anywhere, it clears your mind, and it absolutely benefits your heart and lungs. But when it comes to maintaining or building muscle, walking alone just doesn't do enough. Many people think that walking every day is all they need to stay strong and healthy, but the truth is that walking, while great for overall movement, barely stimulates the muscles in a way that encourages them to grow or even maintain their strength as we age. The human body is designed to adapt to stress and resistance. When you give your muscles something challenging to do, they respond by becoming stronger. But walking, especially at a slow or moderate pace, is a low resistance activity. It uses the same muscles over and over again in a repetitive, low-intensity motion. The legs do work, of course, but not hard enough to signal the body that it needs to hold on to muscle tissue. As we get older, something called sarcopenia begins to creep in, the gradual loss of muscle mass and strength. It starts as early as your 30s and accelerates every decade afterward. You might not notice it right away because it's slow and silent. Maybe you feel a bit weaker when you stand up. Maybe your arms don't have the same strength they used to, or your balance feels slightly off. Those are small but clear signs that your muscles are losing their density and power. Many people try to counter this by walking more, thinking it's enough to stay active. But here's what most don't realize: walking doesn't place enough demand on your muscles to reverse that decline. Think about it this way: if you walk the same distance every day, your body gets used to it. At first, it may feel challenging. You might get sore or tired. But after a few weeks, your body adapts, and the muscles stop responding because they've learned that this level of effort isn't a challenge anymore. Without progressive resistance, there's no reason for your muscles to grow or even stay the same. It's like asking your body to stay strong while never giving it a reason to. Muscles thrive on tension and resistance, and walking simply doesn't deliver that. Now, that doesn't mean walking is useless. Far from it. It's excellent for cardiovascular health, improving circulation, reducing stress, and keeping your joints mobile. But it shouldn't be your only form of exercise if your goal is to fight off muscle loss or stay strong with age. The problem with relying only on walking is that it gives you a false sense of security. You think you're doing enough because you're moving. But beneath the surface, your body might still be losing lean muscle tissue, and that loss can affect everything from your posture to your metabolism. When muscle mass decreases, your body burns fewer calories even at rest. That means you can gain fat more easily, even if you eat the same foods you always have. Your strength drops, your endurance fades, and simple things like climbing stairs or lifting groceries start to feel harder. This is why so many people who walk daily still struggle with weakness, balance issues, or stubborn weight gain. They're active but not strong. Their bodies are moving, but their muscles are not being challenged. Walking also doesn't engage many of the upper body muscles. Your arms swing, sure, but they don't bear any real load. Your core stabilizes you, but it's only slightly activated. The movement pattern is too light and repetitive to create the kind of micro tears in muscle fibers that lead to growth and repair. To maintain or build muscle, your body needs resistance, something that forces the muscles to contract harder than they do during normal activities. That's where exercises like squats, push-ups, or even resistance bands come in. They create mechanical tension, metabolic stress, and a reason for your muscles to adapt. Consider professional athletes or even active older adults who mix strength training into their routines. You'll notice they maintain better posture, faster reflexes, and more confidence in their movement. They don't rely on walking alone because they understand that muscle is the key to staying functional and independent. Walking will keep your heart healthy, but muscle is what keeps your body alive and capable. Without it, even walking eventually becomes more difficult. Let's talk a little about the science behind it. When you walk, you're primarily using your slow twitch muscle fibers. These fibers are built for endurance, not strength. They allow you to keep moving for long periods, but they don't generate much power. Strength training, on the other hand, recruits fast twitch fibers, the ones responsible for force, speed, and explosiveness. These fibers are the ones that tend to shrink the fastest as you age. If you never use them, they essentially turn off, and your body becomes less responsive. That's one reason why older adults who don't do resistance training start losing balance or struggle to rise from a chair. Their fast twitch fibers have been inactive for too long. Walking just doesn't activate them in any meaningful way. There's also a hormonal factor. Strength-based exercises stimulate the release of growth hormone and testosterone, both of which are critical for maintaining muscle and bone density. Walking produces a mild hormonal response, but it's nowhere near enough to make a real difference in slowing muscle loss. Resistance movements, even bodyweight ones, send a much stronger signal to your body that it needs to stay strong. And the beauty is that it doesn't take long or require expensive equipment. You can get those benefits in just 10 minutes a day of targeted strength work. The misconception that walking alone is enough exercise is one of the biggest reasons people continue to age faster than they need to. They believe that movement equals strength, but those two are not the same. Movement is necessary, strength is what preserves your independence. You can walk for hours every day and still lose muscle mass if you never challenge it. Walking is maintenance for your heart, but resistance is maintenance for your body. Without that resistance, the natural aging process wins. Bones get weaker, muscles shrink, and metabolism slows. Many people notice that even though they've kept up their walking habit for years, their legs start to look thinner, softer, or weaker. That's because walking doesn't create muscle hypertrophy, the process that actually makes your muscles stronger and more toned. For hypertrophy to happen, your muscles need to experience tension that's higher than what they're used to. That's why exercises that involve lifting, pushing, or pulling against resistance are so effective. Even simple bodyweight exercises done properly create enough strain to tell your muscles, hey, we need to grow. Walking never quite reaches that point. Let's think about how walking fits into daily life. Most people walk to the store, walk around the house, or take a casual stroll in the evening. Your body sees all that as normal movement, not as a challenge. The difference between movement and training is intensity. Training requires focus, effort, and progression. You can make walking a bit more challenging by adding hills, speed intervals, or carrying weights, but even then, it will never fully replace the benefits of targeted muscle training. Walking might keep you active, but resistance training keeps you capable. It's also worth mentioning how muscle affects longevity. Studies have repeatedly shown that people with more muscle mass live longer and have lower risks of chronic disease. Muscle acts like an organ. It regulates blood sugar, supports immune function, and helps your body respond better to stress. When you only walk, you're missing out on all of these metabolic benefits. Your heart might be strong, but your body's engine, the muscles, is running at low capacity. There's also the mental side of it. Walking is relaxing and meditative, but strength work teaches discipline and body awareness. When you perform resistance exercises, you connect with your muscles consciously. You feel the tension, the control, the effort. It sharpens your focus and builds confidence because every rep you do is a reminder that you're capable of more than you think. That kind of mental connection doesn't happen from walking alone. And if you're someone who's aging or worried about losing mobility, relying on walking can be risky. Without strong muscles, your stability decreases. That means higher chances of falls, slower recovery, and even weaker bones since muscle strength directly supports bone density. Strong muscles act like armor for your body. They protect your joints, improve your balance, and make every daily task easier. When your muscles weaken, your body becomes fragile. Walking alone won't fix that. So while walking is a beautiful way to move your body and clear your mind, it's only one piece of the puzzle. The idea that walking can replace resistance training is misleading and honestly dangerous for long-term health. The goal should never be just to move. The goal should be to move well with power, strength, and control. That's what truly protects you from aging, injury, and decline. The body needs challenge to thrive. Muscles need resistance to grow. And walking, while valuable for your heart, simply doesn't give your body the challenge it needs to stay strong and resilient. Sarcopenia is one of those things that sneaks up quietly, almost without warning. It doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't announce itself with pain or sickness. It's slow, silent, and invisible at first, but it's happening inside the body of almost every adult after the age of 30. The word itself might sound complicated, but it simply means age-related muscle loss. It's the gradual shrinking and weakening of muscle fibers, and if nothing is done to stop it, it changes everything, from how you walk to how you feel when you wake up in the morning. Most people don't notice it until one day they realize they can't lift as much as they used to, they tire faster, or their body just feels less capable than before. That's sarcopenia taking hold, quietly stealing strength year by year. The process begins subtly. Around your 30s, your body's ability to build and repair muscle starts to decline. Hormones like testosterone, growth hormone, and IGF-1, which play key roles in maintaining muscle, start to drop. Your muscle fibers, especially the fast, twitch ones responsible for power and quick movements, begin to shrink. At first, it's barely noticeable. You might lose a pound or two of muscle every few years without realizing it. But that loss continues unless you actively fight against it. By the time someone reaches 50, they could have lost up to 10% of their muscle mass, and by 70, it might be as much as 30 to 40%. That's not just a cosmetic issue. It's a full body problem that affects balance, metabolism, posture, and even the ability to live independently. One of the most dangerous parts of sarcopenia is how easily it's ignored. People assume that feeling weaker or slower is just a normal part of aging, but it doesn't have to be. What's really happening is that the body is adapting to a lifestyle that lacks resistance. Modern life makes it worse. Sitting for hours, relying on convenience, and moving less all accelerate muscle loss. Every time you skip physical effort, your muscles interpret that as a signal that they're no longer needed. The human body is incredibly efficient. It won't waste energy maintaining tissue it doesn't use. So, if you don't challenge your muscles, your body starts to let them go. Another factor that contributes to sarcopenia is poor nutrition. Muscles are built from protein, and as people get older, many eat less of it without realizing how crucial it is. The body's ability to use protein efficiently also declines with age. So older adults actually need more protein than younger ones just to maintain the same amount of muscle. But diets often shift toward lighter foods, less meat and fewer calories, especially when appetite decreases. Combine that with less physical activity and you have the perfect storm for muscle loss. It's not just about being active. It's about giving your muscles the fuel and the challenge they need to stay alive. Sarcopenia doesn't just make you weaker. It slows down your metabolism, making it easier to gain fat even if you're eating the same way you always have. Muscle is metabolically active tissue. It burns calories even at rest. When you lose it, your resting metabolism drops. That means your body starts storing more fat because it doesn't need as much energy to function. Over time, this shift can lead to a frustrating cycle. Less muscle means less strength, less activity, and more fat, which in turn leads to more weakness. It's a downward spiral that can make aging feel like a constant loss of energy and ability. Beyond appearance and metabolism, sarcopenia also affects balance and coordination. Muscles are what stabilize your joints and keep your movements smooth. When they weaken, every movement becomes less controlled. That's why older adults are more prone to falls and injuries. A small trip that wouldn't have mattered at 20 can lead to a broken bone at 70. The loss of muscle around the hips and thighs especially increases the risk of falling. Once an injury happens, people move even less during recovery, which speeds up muscle loss even further. It's a dangerous cycle that can turn a small setback into a permanent decline. But sarcopenia isn't just a physical issue, it's deeply emotional too. The frustration of not being able to do what you used to, the fear of getting hurt, the drop in confidence when you notice your body changing, all of that weighs heavily on the mind. Muscle strength isn't only about lifting or running, it's about feeling capable and in control of your body. When you start to lose that, even small daily tasks can feel daunting. Carrying groceries, climbing stairs, getting up from the floor, things that once felt effortless suddenly demand effort. That constant reminder that your body isn't responding the way it used to can affect self-esteem, motivation, and even mental health. The tragedy is that many people don't realize sarcopenia is preventable and, to some extent, reversible. It's not an unavoidable fate of getting older. It's a result of neglecting the body's natural need for strength training and proper nutrition. The body never stops responding to resistance. Even people in their 70s or 80s can build new muscle if they start challenging it again. The process may be slower, but it still works because the body is always trying to adapt to the demands you place on it. If the demand is zero, the result is weakness. If the demand is consistent effort, the result is strength. What's fascinating is how quickly the body can begin to lose muscle when activity stops. Studies show that even 2 weeks of bed rest can cause noticeable muscle atrophy, especially in older adults. Imagine what happens over months or years of inactivity. Every time you avoid using your muscles to their full potential, your body gets the message that it no longer needs to maintain that strength. But the opposite is also true. Once you start using them again, they begin to rebuild. It doesn't take hours at the gym or heavy weights. Simple, regular resistance work done at home can wake those dormant fibers and remind your body to keep them alive. Hormonal decline plays a big role too. As we age, our levels of anabolic hormones, the ones that promote muscle growth, decrease naturally. Testosterone growth hormone and DHEA all drop with time, which slows protein synthesis. That means even if you eat well, your body doesn't build muscle as efficiently as it used to. But physical training can counter that. Resistance exercise stimulates the release of these same hormones, signaling the body to start repairing and growing muscle again. That's why strength work is so powerful. It doesn't just strengthen your muscles directly. It also triggers internal chemical changes that make your body act younger. Another layer of sarcopenia is inflammation. Chronic low-level inflammation becomes more common with age due to factors like poor diet, stress, lack of sleep, and environmental toxins. This inflammation interferes with how your muscles repair and grow. It breaks down muscle tissue faster than it can be rebuilt. Strength training and good nutrition help regulate inflammation by improving circulation, increasing antioxidant levels, and promoting the release of anti-inflammatory compounds in the body. Essentially, when you move your body with purpose and feed it properly, you help quiet the inflammation that speeds up muscle decay. Protein isn't the only nutrient involved. Vitamin D, omega-3 fatty acids, and minerals like magnesium and zinc all play roles in maintaining muscle health. Vitamin D, in particular, is crucial for muscle function, and many people, especially those who spend most of their time indoors, are deficient in it. Low vitamin D levels are directly linked to reduced muscle strength and higher risks of falls. So when we talk about sarcopenia, it's not just about exercise, It's about the entire ecosystem of how you live, eat, and recover. Every choice you make either supports your muscle health or chips away at it. Sarcopenia also doesn't affect everyone equally. Genetics, gender, and lifestyle all play roles. Men generally start with more muscle mass, but they also experience sharper declines when testosterone levels fall. Women lose muscle more gradually, but hormonal changes during menopause accelerate the process. However, lifestyle remains the biggest factor. Someone who continues to lift, stretch, and challenge their body regularly will always maintain more muscle and function than someone who doesn't, regardless of age or genetics. The impact of sarcopenia on daily life goes beyond physical weakness. It changes how you move, how you look, and even how you interact with the world. Muscle loss can cause your posture to collapse, making you appear smaller, older, and more fragile. It can affect how your clothes fit, how you sit, and how long you can stand without discomfort. The loss of strength in the back and core can lead to chronic pain and poor balance. It can even change your breathing pattern because strong core muscles support your diaphragm. In many ways, muscle is the foundation of everything physical you do, and when it erodes, your entire structure starts to weaken. The good news is that your muscles are always listening. They respond quickly to change. Even small doses of resistance training, like squats, push-ups, or lifting light weights, start sending signals to your body that muscle tissue is still needed. The body never forgets how to get strong. It just needs a reason to do it again. Every time you challenge yourself, you're not just exercising, you're sending a message of survival to your cells, telling them that your muscles are essential. And when your body believes that it will fight to keep them. Sarcopenia may start in your 30s, but it doesn't have to define the decades that follow. The key is awareness and action. Most people don't lose muscle because they're aging. They lose it because they stop using it. Aging simply exposes the result of inactivity. The difference between someone who stays strong into their 70s and someone who struggles to get out of a chair is not genetics. It's movement, nutrition, and mindset. Your muscles will stay with you for as long as you give them a reason to stay. 2 simple home exercises, squats and push-ups, may not sound revolutionary at first, but when you look closely at what they do to your body, you realize they're among the most powerful tools for maintaining strength, building muscle, and fighting the effects of sarcopenia. The beauty of these 2 movements is that they use nothing but your own body weight, yet they engage almost every major muscle group, stimulate your metabolism, and trigger the same muscle preserving mechanisms that gym workouts do. Most people underestimate them because they look simple, but done correctly and consistently, they can completely change how your body feels and functions. You don't need expensive equipment, machines, or hours of training. You need just a few square feet of space, commitment, and proper form. Let's start with squats. The squat is one of the most natural movements your body can do. You perform some version of it every day when you sit, stand, or bend down. But when you make it intentional and controlled, it becomes a full lower body workout that targets your quadriceps, hamstrings, glutes, calves, and even your core. What makes squats so powerful is that they mimic real life movement patterns, strengthening your body in the way it's meant to move. Every time you squat, you're training your body to handle the physical demands of daily life, lifting, standing, balancing, climbing stairs, all with more stability and power. When you lower yourself into a squat, your muscles are forced to control that descent. That's called eccentric loading, and it's one of the most effective ways to build strength and muscle. When you rise back up, your legs and hips work together in a concentric contraction, generating force that strengthens the entire lower body. Your core stays tight to stabilize you, your back muscles activate to keep your spine aligned, and your glutes fire up to push you upward. This combination makes squats not just a leg exercise, but a full body challenge. Over time, they increase bone density, improve mobility, and help correct posture, all essential in fighting the effects of aging. One of the reasons squats are so effective against sarcopenia is that they target large muscle groups, and large muscles require more energy and stimulation to maintain. When you engage your legs and glutes, the biggest muscles in the body, you send a powerful signal to your system to hold on to muscle tissue. This kind of demand tells your body that strength and mobility are still essential. It's the opposite of what happens when you spend most of the day sitting. Inactivity tells your body to let go of muscle. Squats remind it to keep building. You don't even have to do deep or heavy squats to see benefits. Bodyweight squats done slowly and correctly build strength and endurance. The key is to focus on form, feet shoulder width apart, chest up, back straight, and knees tracking over your toes. Go down as if you're sitting into an invisible chair. Pause for a moment and then push through your heels to rise. If you do this consistently, your muscles adapt by becoming stronger and denser. And the more you practice, the better your coordination and balance become, which are crucial for preventing falls as you age. Squats also help improve flexibility, especially in the hips and ankles. Tight hips and weak legs are common issues as people get older, leading to poor posture and reduced range of motion. By practicing squats, you keep your joints lubricated and your muscles lengthened, reducing stiffness and promoting circulation throughout the lower body. This is another reason why squats are so valuable for longevity. They don't just build muscle, they keep your body functional. Now, let's talk about push-ups. Push-ups are one of the oldest and most trusted exercises in the world, and for good reason. They work the chest, shoulders, triceps, and core all at once. Like squats, push-ups are a compound movement, meaning they use multiple joints and muscles simultaneously. Every time you lower your body toward the ground, your chest and triceps control that movement while your shoulders and core stabilize your frame. When you push yourself back up, those same muscles contract with power, creating the kind of resistance that stimulates muscle growth. Push-ups are an upper body version of the squat in many ways. They strengthen the muscles you use for pushing, lifting, and supporting your body weight, movements that are essential for independence and daily function. From pushing open a door to lifting yourself out of bed or carrying groceries, those same muscle groups are constantly at work. As sarcopenia progresses, upper body strength often declines faster than lower body strength, which is why push-ups are so important. They directly target the muscles that keep your upper body capable and strong. Another reason push-ups are effective is that they engage your core constantly. Even though they look like an arm and chest exercise, your abs, lower back, and hips are working the entire time to keep your body stable and straight. That engagement not only builds a stronger midsection, but also protects your spine and improves posture. Many people who do push-ups regularly notice their back pain decrease because their core becomes strong enough to support their body properly. Push-ups can be modified to match any fitness level. If you can't do a standard push-up, you can start with wall push-ups, where you press against a wall while standing, or knee push-ups, where you keep your knees on the ground. These variations reduce the weight you're pushing, but still activate the same muscles. As you gain strength, you can move to full push-ups or even advanced variations like decline or diamond push-ups for extra challenge. The important part is to maintain proper alignment. Keep your body in a straight line, engage your core, and move slowly through each rep. When you combine squats and push-ups into a daily routine, something powerful happens. You activate nearly every major muscle in your body: legs, arms, chest, back, and core. Together, these movements stimulate both the upper and lower body, creating balanced strength and coordination. Because they're both bodyweight exercises, they improve not just muscle mass, but also control, stability, and endurance. You're not just building bulk, you're training your body to move better, faster, and with more confidence. Consistency is the secret. You don't need to spend hours training. Just a few sets of squats and push-ups every day can be enough to maintain or even increase muscle mass, especially for people who are not doing any resistance training currently. Even 10 minutes a day can trigger changes in muscle tone, posture, and metabolism. These exercises improve circulation, which means more oxygen and nutrients reach your muscles, helping them recover and grow stronger. They also boost hormonal activity, increasing testosterone and growth hormone naturally. both of which play major roles in preventing sarcopenia. Squats and push-ups also have a powerful effect on your metabolism. Since they involve large muscle groups, your body burns more calories during and after the workout. This effect, known as excess post-exercise oxygen consumption, keeps your metabolism elevated for hours after you finish. That means even though you're working out for a short time, your body continues burning energy as it repairs and strengthens muscle tissue. Over time, this can help reduce body fat and replace it with lean muscle mass, which further boosts metabolic health. Another overlooked benefit of these exercises is how they improve your nervous system's efficiency. When you perform movements that require coordination, like balancing in a squat or stabilizing during a push-up, your brain strengthens its connection to your muscles. This neuromuscular coordination is what allows you to move smoothly, react faster, and avoid injury. It also plays a key role in aging gracefully, since the loss of balance and coordination is often what leads to accidents in older adults. By practicing squats and push-ups, you're not only strengthening your body, but also keeping your brain's communication with your muscles sharp. These exercises can easily be adjusted to increase difficulty as you improve. For squats, you can add a pause at the bottom, jump at the top, or hold weights for extra resistance. For push-ups, you can elevate your feet, slow down the tempo, or do explosive push-ups to build power. The possibilities are endless, and the progression keeps your muscles challenged, preventing plateaus. That adaptability is what makes these two movements timeless. They grow with you. Whether you're a beginner or advanced, they'll always give you a workout that fits. For older adults or beginners, the goal isn't to push to exhaustion, but to build consistency and control. The real magic happens through repetition. Each squat strengthens your foundation. Each push-up fortifies your upper body. Together, they make your muscles remember what it means to be strong. Over time, you'll notice everyday tasks becoming easier. Standing up, carrying things, maintaining balance. These small victories add up, creating a body that moves with more confidence and less fatigue. Squats and push-ups are also highly functional, meaning the strength you gain translates directly to real-world actions. Unlike machines that isolate muscles in artificial ways, bodyweight exercises teach your muscles to work together as they do in life. That's why athletes, soldiers, and trainers around the world rely on these basics. They're efficient, natural, and incredibly effective. When done consistently, they create a level of strength that supports everything else you do, from walking to lifting to simply maintaining good posture. When it comes to fighting sarcopenia, simplicity is key. The more complicated an exercise program is, the harder it is to maintain. Squats and push-ups remove all barriers. You can do them anywhere. In your living room, at the office, even outdoors. You don't need equipment, gym memberships, or fancy gear. You just need your body and the decision to start. That accessibility makes it easy to build a lifelong habit, and it's those consistent small actions that ultimately protect your muscles from wasting away. It's easy to underestimate the power of simple movements, but simplicity is often where true strength lives. Squats and push-ups teach you discipline, balance, and control. They reconnect you with your body, reminding you that fitness isn't about complicated routines, but about mastering the basics. When you practice them regularly, you're not just exercising, you're investing in your independence, your confidence, and your future, even if everything else is taken away. The gym, the weights, the fancy programs, these two exercises alone can keep you strong, stable, and resilient for life. When it comes to fitness, people often get caught up in complicated routines or expensive gym memberships, believing that the key to progress lies in access to machines or fancy programs. But the truth is, none of that matters if you don't have two fundamental things working in your favor: proper form and consistency. These two principles are what separate short-term effort from long-term transformation. You can have the best workout plan in the world, but if your form is off or your routine isn't consistent, you'll end up with frustration, injuries, or minimal results. On the other hand, Someone with a simple routine and great form who trains consistently can experience incredible progress over time. It's not about how much you do, it's about how well and how often you do it. Proper form is like the foundation of a house. If it's weak or unstable, everything you build on top of it will eventually fall apart. In fitness, form ensures that every movement is targeting the right muscles, keeping your joints safe and your body aligned. When people rush through exercises or try to lift more than they can handle, they often sacrifice form. That's when injuries happen, knees ache after squats, shoulders hurt after push-ups, or back strain after deadlifts. But when your form is correct, even the simplest exercise becomes powerful. A well-performed squat, for example, doesn't just strengthen your legs, it activates your glutes, engages your core, and improves your balance all at once. You feel the movement working for you, not against you. The problem is that in our fast-paced world, everyone wants quick results. People push themselves too hard too soon, copying what they see online or in the gym, without paying attention to the small details that make an exercise effective. The position of your feet, the alignment of your knees, the engagement of your core, all of these small things matter. They might seem insignificant in the moment, but over weeks and months, they determine whether you'll make real progress or stay stuck. A person doing half reps with bad posture might look strong for a moment, but they're missing out on the deeper muscle engagement that leads to growth and strength. Learning proper form doesn't require a personal trainer or fancy equipment. It starts with awareness. When you move, you need to feel which muscles are working. You need to pay attention to your breathing, your control, your range of motion. If you're doing squats, don't just drop down and stand up. Think about pushing your hips back, keeping your chest open, grounding your heels. If you're doing push-ups, don't let your elbows flare out or your hips sag. Keep your body straight, your core tight, and move with control. This kind of mindful movement not only prevents injuries, but also teaches your body efficiency. Every rep counts more because every rep is done with intention. Form is also what connects your mind to your body. When you focus on how a movement feels rather than how it looks, you start to develop that connection that athletes and trainers often talk about, the mind-muscle link. That's when you start understanding your body better. You begin to notice how one small adjustment in your stance can change how your muscles fire. That awareness leads to better workouts and faster improvement. It's not about doing more reps. It's about doing the right reps the right way. Over time, this awareness builds confidence. You start trusting your body and respecting what it can do. But proper form alone isn't enough without consistency. Consistency is the invisible force that turns effort into progress. You can have perfect form, but if you only exercise once a week or whenever you feel motivated, you won't see lasting results. Muscles grow and adapt through repetition and routine. Your body needs to experience regular stress to become stronger. Skipping days, taking long breaks, or constantly changing your routine confuses your body and delays results. The magic happens when you show up, even on the days you don't feel like it. Consistency isn't about perfection, it's about showing up. Some days you'll feel strong and push harder, while other days you might just go through the motions, and that's okay. What matters is that you keep the habit alive. Your body thrives on patterns. When you train regularly, your muscles, nervous system, and metabolism all adapt together. You start building endurance, strength, and resilience not through single sessions, but through repetition. It's just like brushing your teeth. One time won't change anything, but doing it daily keeps things healthy and strong. The challenge is that motivation doesn't last. That's why consistency must be built on discipline, not emotion. If you wait until you feel motivated to train, you'll train less often than you should. But if you decide to make exercise a non-negotiable part of your day, like eating or sleeping, it becomes second nature. Some people overcomplicate this by thinking they need to train for hours, but even 15 minutes a day, done with good form, can change your body and your mindset. Those 15 minutes add up. Over a week, that's almost 2 hours of focused movement, and over a year, That's over 100 hours of progress. The beauty of consistency is that it compounds. Each day builds on the last. You might not see a difference in a week, but give it a month and you'll feel stronger. Give it 3 months and your body will start changing. Give it 6 months and you'll be amazed at what you've built. The small, seemingly insignificant actions you take daily create momentum. And once you build that momentum, it becomes harder to stop than to start. You'll reach a point where your body craves movement because it feels better when you're active. That's when consistency turns into lifestyle. Proper form and consistency also go hand in hand. When you practice good form every time, it becomes automatic. Your body remembers. That's what's called muscle memory. You no longer have to think about how to move. You just move correctly by default. That makes your workout safer and more efficient. Likewise, consistency reinforces form because repetition refines your technique. The more often you do something correctly, the better you get at it. Each rep becomes smoother, more controlled, and more powerful. That's why elite athletes spend years perfecting simple movements. They understand that mastery comes from repetition, not variety. For people who don't have access to gyms or equipment, focusing on form and consistency is even more important. Bodyweight training can be incredibly effective if done properly. You can build impressive strength using just squats, push-ups, planks, lunges, and bridges, but you have to do them with precision and regularity. A well-executed bodyweight squat is far more beneficial than a sloppy leg press at the gym. The key is to respect your body's feedback. If something hurts, don't push through pain. Adjust your form. Pain is often a signal that something is off, either in your movement or your alignment. Listening to your body is part of maintaining proper form. Another advantage of prioritizing form and consistency is sustainability. Fitness isn't about doing something extreme for a short period. It's about creating habits that last a lifetime. When you focus on form, you reduce the risk of injury, which means you can keep training for years without setbacks. When you stay consistent, you don't need to start over every few months. You maintain progress and keep building. Over time, this becomes less about aesthetics and more about health, strength, and quality of life. You'll find that your posture improves, your energy levels rise, and your confidence grows. Consistency also teaches patience. We live in a world obsessed with instant gratification, but the human body doesn't work that way. Real transformation takes time, and that's a good thing because it teaches discipline and self-respect. When you stay consistent through the slow days and plateaus, you build mental strength, not just physical. That mental resilience translates to other areas of your life, work, relationships, challenges, because you've trained yourself not to quit when things get tough. There's also an emotional side to consistency. The routine itself becomes grounding. Knowing that you'll move your body each day, even for a few minutes, gives your day structure and a sense of control. It becomes your moment, a time to connect with yourself, release stress, and reset your mind. Over time, exercise stops being a chore and becomes a source of peace. The same goes for form. When you move mindfully, focusing on your breath and your control, your workout becomes a kind of meditation in motion. That mind-body connection reduces anxiety, clears your thoughts, and improves focus. Some people fear that without a gym, they can't make progress, but that's simply not true. The most important tools are your body, your mind, and your consistency. Gym equipment can make things easier or more varied, but it doesn't replace good form or steady effort. You can have the fanciest treadmill, but if your body mechanics are poor, you'll wear yourself out without getting stronger. Likewise, you can have no equipment at all and still build strength through proper movement and regular practice. What really matters is how you use what you have. In the end, proper form and consistency are about respect. Respect for your body's design, for the process, and for your goals. You don't rush it, you don't fake it, and you don't give up on it. When you move with awareness and show up for yourself daily, you build more than muscle, you build discipline, balance, and self-trust. Each movement becomes an act of self-care, each repetition a reminder that strength isn't given, It's earned one consistent, well-executed effort at a time. Strength training is more than just a physical activity. It's one of the most powerful ways to protect your body and mind as you age. The idea that lifting weights or doing resistance exercises keeps you young isn't just motivational talk. It's backed by science and real life experience. When you train your muscles regularly, you're not only improving how you look, but also how you move, think, and feel. It's about longevity, vitality, and maintaining the ability to do the things you love without being limited by your body. Strength is the foundation of youth because it's the one thing that supports everything else. Your balance, your energy, your confidence, even your independence. As we age, our muscles naturally begin to shrink in size and power. This process, called sarcopenia, can start as early as your 30s and accelerates if you live a sedentary lifestyle. You may not notice it at first. Maybe stairs feel a little tougher. Maybe you can't lift things as easily as before, or maybe you just feel tired more often. That's muscle loss quietly taking over. But here's the incredible part. Strength training is the only proven way to stop it in its tracks and even reverse it. Your muscles are like living tissue that constantly adapts to what you demand of them. If you challenge them, they grow stronger. If you neglect them, they weaken. This means that no matter your age or fitness level, it's never too late to start. When you build strength, you're doing more than adding muscle. You're also training your bones, joints, and connective tissues to become tougher and more resilient. As you lift, push, or pull, your bones respond by increasing density, reducing the risk of fractures and osteoporosis. Your joints stay lubricated and flexible, your posture improves, and your movement becomes smoother and more controlled. These changes might sound small, but they make an enormous difference in daily life, from carrying groceries to playing with your kids or grandkids, or simply standing up from a chair without effort. Strength gives you freedom, and freedom is what keeps you young. Another overlooked benefit of strength training is how it transforms your metabolism. When you build muscle, you're essentially increasing the engine size of your body. Muscles burn calories not just during exercise, but even while you rest. That means a stronger body naturally maintains a healthier weight and uses energy more efficiently. Many people struggle with weight gain as they get older, blaming their metabolism. But the truth is that most of that slowdown comes from muscle loss. The less muscle you have, the fewer calories your body burns. Strength training reignites that engine, keeping your metabolism active and helping you maintain balance even as you age. Beyond the physical, strength training has profound effects on your mind. When you challenge your body to lift something heavier than before, you're not just testing your muscles. You're training your brain to push through resistance. That mental resilience carries over into other parts of life. Each rep becomes a quiet reminder that you can handle discomfort, that you can keep going even when things feel hard. It builds discipline and confidence. Studies have shown that people who strength train regularly experience lower levels of anxiety and depression, better focus, and improved mood. The sense of accomplishment that comes from getting stronger is unmatched. It's tangible proof of your progress. You feel it every time you notice your posture improve or your body move with more ease. Balance is another key area where strength training shines. As we get older, falls become one of the biggest risks to health and independence. Most people think balance is about coordination, but it's deeply tied to strength. Strong legs, core, and stabilizing muscles keep you upright and in control. When you train movements that challenge your balance, like squats, lunges, or even standing on one leg while lifting light weights, you're training your body's ability to react, stabilize, and protect itself. This not only prevents injuries, but gives you a sense of confidence in movement that makes life richer and less fearful. One of the most powerful things about strength training is that it's deeply personal. It meets you where you are. You don't need to lift huge weights or spend hours in the gym. You can start small. Even bodyweight exercises like push-ups, squats, and planks count. The important part is resistance. Your muscles need something to push against, whether that's gravity, resistance bands, or dumbbells. Every person's journey looks different, but the reward is the same. Strength gives you back control over your body. It's not about competition, it's about progression. If you can do one more rep today than you could last week, you're winning. Strength training also has a powerful effect on hormones. It boosts natural growth hormone and testosterone levels, both of which play a huge role in maintaining muscle, energy, and mood. These hormones tend to decline with age, which is why people often feel weaker and more fatigued as they get older. Regular resistance training helps regulate them naturally, restoring vitality and drive. It also improves insulin sensitivity, helping your body manage blood sugar more effectively, a critical factor in preventing diabetes and maintaining long-term health. That's why doctors and scientists often call strength training the closest thing we have to a fountain of youth. When you train consistently, your body becomes more efficient at handling stress. Strength training improves your cardiovascular system, making your heart pump more effectively and your blood circulate more freely. It also enhances oxygen delivery to your muscles and brain, giving you more stamina and mental clarity throughout the day. You start sleeping better, recovering faster, and feeling more alert. And all of this adds up. Stronger muscles lead to a stronger body, and a stronger body supports a sharper, more focused mind. There's also something deeply empowering about the act of lifting or pushing your own body weight. Strength training reconnects you to your physical potential. In a world where so many people feel disconnected from their bodies, this kind of training reminds you of what you're capable of. Each workout becomes a conversation between your mind and muscles, a process of learning, adapting, and overcoming. You begin to see your body not as something fragile or limited, but as something powerful and evolving. That shift in mindset can completely change how you approach life's challenges. People often think of strength training as a young person's activity, but some of the most inspiring examples come from older adults. Research shows that even people in their 70s, 80s, and 90s can build muscle and improve strength significantly through resistance training. It's never too late to start. The body remains adaptable at any age. In fact, many older adults who start strength training notice improvements in their mobility, confidence, and mood within just a few weeks. They move better, think clearer, and feel more alive. It's not just about adding years to life, it's about adding life to years. Confidence is another gift that strength training gives. When your body feels strong, you carry yourself differently. You stand taller, you move with more purpose, and you stop doubting your ability to handle physical or mental challenges. That confidence radiates into every aspect of your life, your work, relationships, and even how you see yourself. Strength training becomes a metaphor for growth. Every time you push against resistance, you get stronger, both inside and out. One of the most beautiful things about strength training is that progress never really stops. There's always room to improve, to move better, lift heavier, or master new skills. That sense of continuous growth keeps life exciting. It gives you goals to chase, milestones to celebrate, and a reason to keep showing up. And unlike some forms of exercise that can become repetitive or boring, strength training evolves with you. As your body changes, your training adapts. It grows as you grow. But perhaps the most important benefit of all is independence. Strength gives you the ability to take care of yourself, to move without help, to stay active and engaged with the world around you. It keeps you from feeling helpless or fragile as you age. Imagine being 70 or 80 and still being able to carry your groceries, go for hikes, or play with your grandchildren. That's the real reward of building strength now. It's an investment in your future self. Every rep, every workout, every drop of sweat is like a deposit into your long-term health bank. Strength training doesn't require perfection. What it requires is persistence. Some days will feel easy, others will feel heavy. But the act of showing up and moving your body creates a ripple effect that goes far beyond fitness. It improves how you eat, how you sleep, how you handle stress. It changes how you see aging, not as a decline, but as a process you can influence. Instead of waiting for your body to weaken, you take charge and give it what it needs to thrive. Ultimately, Strength training keeps you young not because it stops time, but because it keeps you moving, capable, and confident in your own skin. It gives you balance, stability, and energy that walking alone or cardio alone can't match. It's a reminder that aging doesn't have to mean fading. It can mean evolving. Strength is what lets you keep saying yes to life, to adventures, challenges, and everything that makes you feel alive.